What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto, and welcome to this quick middle of the day, aka evening update. Well, it depends on your time zone. I mean, if you're from the US or if you're from the Americas, this is probably a very well-timed video, but wanted to do a bit of a middle of the day market update, at least for me, regarding the market. Excuse me, my microphone turned off. But no, interestingly, at this point of time, it's mostly short positions being closed, which is interesting. There's not sufficient data on this, but sometimes it means that we can actually continue this more easily. Sometimes it means that it's just short positions being closed and that's not real bullish momentum, so that we cannot continue. But just wanted to do a bit of an update here regarding what's going on right now. We'll talk a little bit about news. We'll talk about some altcoins towards the end of the video. So let's get right into it. So right now, I would say the fundamental situation is still very similar as it was when I made the Bitcoin video earlier today. The S&P 500 has nicely retested the gap and is now bouncing up to that all-time high. It opened after pre-market at an all-time high. Nasdaq also very similar, of course. Russell 2000 at a crucial support right now, so that's going to be very interesting to see over the course of today and tomorrow if this is going to hold, because if it doesn't, that's bearish. And then one of the most important things that happened today, even though the markets don't seem to be reacting to it too much, is the following, and that is the news we got. Today we had retail sales. If I can look it up real quick, we had retail sales and we had initial jobless claims across the board. The actual data was better than expected. All right, so what that means is that we have a relatively strong dollar strength index, and unfortunately a strong dollar strength index, historically at least, has been correlated to a weak Bitcoin. Now the situation right now is a little bit different, because I suspect that a lot of this bullish momentum on Bitcoin in the markets is driven by Trump leading in the polls. So what you can see is that the data was relatively bearish for crypto, and the dollar strength index actually reacted bullish to the news as well. But Bitcoin has been able to hold its levels relatively well, and now you can also see that maybe some shorts were opened at the start of the US session because of the news, and now they see that Bitcoin is staying resilient regardless of the fundamentals around it. So that's interesting to see, all right? And that also, then all of a sudden we have to start thinking about what the election means, and will we have some sort of a major sell the news effect, which would obviously be bearish. But so far, with the fundamentals being neutral and the dollar strength index being bearish for crypto, the way we're holding up is relatively bullish. I actually, in the Bitcoin video, what I said is we should really, as the US opens, we should really keep an eye on the Coinbase premium or discount. And I believe I actually saw some sort of a premium coming in, but that's not true. I mean, here and there you can actually see some sort of a premium, but there's still a bit of a discount right now. So I must have been mistaken. But I would say, like, right now we're doing quite well. But the big question is that can we actually get into 69? Can we get into 70,000? Those would be the next price targets. And for that, I think it's too early to call that, right? Because we have been relatively bullish. We got some nice short position closure, so that's great. But what I really need to see right now to assume that we're going to make higher highs is a breakout above, I would say, 68,000. Right, so you can see on the 1 hour time frame as well, this is a strong resistance level. You also have a major trend line there. So if we're able to break above that, then I think we're probably going for 70,000. Obviously not in one candle, but I do think ultimately breaking 68, there's resistance at 69 as well, but I would say 70. With the value area high of the entire period in the last 6-7 months. I would say that's the main price target, and it's too early to call that right now. All right, the volume for Bitcoin, I'm also not sure if that's sufficient. Volume right now is down to 31 billion, so I would lean I'd be ready for the breakout above 68,000. But I'm leaning towards telling you that I think it's more likely, because this is mostly short positions being closed, the volume is relatively low. I would say it's most likely that this is just a rally back up to the top, and that we will kind of stay in a consolidation down here before ultimately making those higher highs, because I do still expect those higher highs. I'm just not convinced that today or this afternoon is going to be the moment that we'll get there. Like I said, I think we need more momentum. I think we need more volume for that. Now, ideally, what does happen is that we do see a little bit of a cool down from the Bitcoin dominance, which has been on a tear, of course. So if we can actually see that cooling down a bit and that coming down, then there's opportunities for altcoins. And I think that's more interesting than Bitcoin right now. But so far, as I said, as long as the Bitcoin dominance is bullish like this, altcoins are probably, like, except for a few, but altcoins are not going to be the best thing to focus on. Right now you can also see a lot of the altcoins are just very correlated with each other. So then basically what you have is you have most altcoins move together with each other, and Bitcoin dominance is going up, so Bitcoin itself is outperforming them either way. So at the moment I'm not trading much. Some altcoins do look interesting, like Mu is still interesting, Pendle, Injective, Stacks. I do think that there's interesting altcoins, right? I mean, Pendle, like I said, is in an uptrend here, so and I don't see any reason why that would not continue. I think Aave is also going to get a breakout at some point of time. I still think Dogecoin looks amazing. I think Litecoin is actually shaping up relatively nicely if it's able to break out here. So there's definitely, and also, by the way, Dia. Absolutely crazy, but this is super manipulated, but this actually looks quite good as well. So there's definitely opportunities. Oh, Litecoin is actually gaining some momentum now as well. Might be time to focus on some Litecoin. So there's definitely opportunities, but I would be careful as long as Bitcoin has not broken out yet, and as long as the Bitcoin dominance is this bullish. Right, so there's opportunities, but for now, still be a little bit cautious and keep an eye on those important metrics to know when to get into new altcoin positions, is what I would say. But those are my thoughts. That's what I think you need to know for now. If you do have any questions, let me know down in the comments. For now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.